No coiners, pre-coiners, new coiners, shit coiners, wage slaves, debt slaves, Bitcoiners of all description. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. So Friday is an interesting thing, and today's show is about Friday and what it means today, what it meant, I think, in the past, and what it's going to mean in the Bitcoin golden age that is upon us, that we're shit posting into existence. So Friday in the industrial age, in this nation state welfare fiat world that we're burning down with Bitcoin, what it means, thank God it's Friday, right? That means Friday was payday. You work a job that you hate, a lot of people. You're doing it for money, to put food on the table and a roof over your head, right? Thank God it's Friday. I have 2 days off. I get paid. People used to get paid in cash every Friday, right? So the way we think of Friday now is definitely a result of the industrial age, and now an end stage fiat. In the fiat apocalypse, it's really, it's the extreme version of that. Thank God I get a couple of days off. It's Friday. But where Friday comes from, all the days of the week have a meaning, and Fridays is kind of special. Friday's the last day of the week, really. It's the last day of the work week, but it was the last day of the week. It's the Friday sunset. That's when the Sabbath starts. That's when the new week begins, right? Friday is the last day of the week. So Friday's special for that reason. But Friday is tied to womanhood. It's the woman's day. And Friday, where the name comes from, is there's really two Norse goddesses that gave Friday its name, and they're intertwined together. It's an interesting story. So there's a Norse goddess called Frigg, who is the mother of Balder, right? And she represents really motherhood and the things a mom will do, right? Because she has this baby, Balder. She's the wife of Odin, right? This golden child. She loves him so much, like a mother loves their child. It's like the ultimate expression of that, because the baby's so beautiful, you know what I mean? She'll do anything for him. But there's this prophecy that comes out, and she's a seer, she's a prophet too. And it says that Balder is gonna get killed, right? There's a prophecy about his death. And she loves this baby so much that she goes to everything in the entire realm, all of the 9 worlds, right? Everyone pledges, she gets them to pledge, I will not kill Balder. Because, Norse gods are immortal. It's hard to kill them. I will not kill Balder. Everything, animal, vegetable, mineral, everything, except for one thing. She misses the mistletoe, the lowly mistletoe. And mistletoe, I'll talk about it in another episode, because the mistletoe is interesting too. But she misses the mistletoe, and it turns out that Loki, the trickster, learns this knowledge. He hates Balder. I almost said a bad word. This is a kid show. And he uses a mistletoe, tips an arrow with a mistletoe, and kills Balder. Right? So she loses the thing that she loves. Important story. The other side of the coin is Freya. And she's like, Aphrodite. She's like Venus. She's love and fertility. She's the young, beautiful goddess, right? Well, it turns out that she sees this necklace. It's a gold necklace. It takes 4 dwarves to make this necklace. Brisingamen is the name of the necklace, right? And she has to have it, right? So what does she do? She decides, she goes to the dwarves, hey, I got to have that necklace. And they're like, whoa, Freya wants the necklace, but the dwarfs aren't going to give the necklace up for nothing. So what she has to do is she has to let each one of these 4 dwarfs have her, right? And she does. She makes that bargain and that sacrifice because she wants this necklace so much. It's so important to her, so valuable, right? So she does that. She gets the necklace. It's beautiful. It's her treasure. Well, it is awesome. And other gods are jealous of it. They want it. And of course Loki comes into the story, the trickster, right? And he steals it from her. And actually it's because Odin says, I want you take that thing from her, right? So he goes in and he gets it from her, right? And of course she wants it back, right? So she has to get it back. And there's a lot of different stories about it. They're all cool. But one of the stories says that Odin is going to intervene and get the necklace back. But this is what she's got to do. She has to use her magic powers. Because these goddesses are all tied into magic, right? And I can talk about that more later. So she has to have these 2 kings, right, with armies. She has to use her magic to make them fight every single day. And they basically fight to the death every day, right? And every morning, they come back to life. And they have to fight to the death again, over and over and over again. And the story is, and this is how Christianity kind of comes in, the Norse myths obviously are old pagan myths, right? But there's Christianity, I always got to get a gloss on it, right? And the way that this story is going to end is there's going to be a Christian knight who's going to come in, or a Christian king, and the battle is going to be over, right? But think about that, though. It's going to be some moral Christian, right, dude that comes in and basically ends the battle, right? And then she gets her necklace back. Brisingamen. It's kind of a cool story, right? And that's what Bitcoin, I see, Bitcoin is going to come into this somewhere, right? So that's where Bitcoin comes in my mind. Because Bitcoin solves this whole thing about people working jobs that they hate until Friday, when finally they can get loaded and relax and do whatever they want to do on the weekend, right? They don't have to work anymore. They get a couple of days off, right? And that's an industrial age thing. And the separation of money and state and the return of value, which Bitcoin is, right, is going to get rid of that, right? And it's going to let us to think about things like, what does Friday mean? And we can think of these deeper stories, like I just told you about Friday, right? But it gets even better. Because to me, what Brisingamen represents is Bitcoin. That's what Freya was making her bargains. That's why she wants it. It's the most valuable thing in the 9 realms, right? And the story of how she loses it and gains it back is the story about Bitcoin and the end of fiat. It's really the story of the fiat apocalypse, because at the end, what happens? These fiat wars are happening. The 2 kings are fighting and killing each other, right? Just like the whole 20th century has been so far. From World War I, which started out with, the Federal Reserve. Guess what happened right after that? World War I, World War II. And now we're in the middle of World War III, which is a psychological, right, and economic war, nation states versus the people. And Bitcoin is the prize. Bitcoin is the thing that's going to be left standing at the end, right? And Bitcoin is Brisingamen. It really is that necklace of great value that we're going to do things to get, make bargains, do hard stuff, right? So who comes in at the end? The Christian king comes in at the end. And that's what, Bitcoin is going to allow. Bitcoin comes in, Brisingamen, the Christian king, the moral king comes in at the end, and the fiat wars are over, right? And the world, again, has meaning in the same way that it did back in the old days when these stories were told, right? These deep stories about what it means to be a human being, what it means to be here in this realm. That's the thing that Bitcoin gets. You know, people say Bitcoin is freedom. It is, and it is freedom to think more deeply about the world and your place in it and what that means. All right. Thank God it's Friday. Talk to you tomorrow.